Welcome to No Match for a Blaster, a Star Wars role-playing podcast, episode 23, Full Disclosure. I'm your host and droid rights activist, Ito Davis. If you're new here, No Match for a Blaster is an actual play podcast featuring the Morality Plays crew playing the Star Wars role-playing system by Fantasy Flight Games. We'd like to take this opportunity to personally thank our Blaster Heads of the Week, Patreon patron Pineapple and Liz Beatty. Thank you. With your help, we can take care of those poor banded nerfs roaming the plains of Hoban. Yeehaw. To be our next Blasterhead or Nerf Herder of the Week, be sure to subscribe to us on Patreon at patreon.com/moralityplays. To make sure you don't miss any of our big updates, follow us on Facebook at No Match for a Blaster or on Twitter at No Match Podcast. So, get your notepads out, because we're returning to the crew of the Atheon as they enter their meeting with Commander Sebastian Char.
Previously on No Match for a Blaster. Hostility between the First Order and the New Republic Defense Force continues, and the moon of Hoban is caught in the crossfire. While Cassie and Kamaya Saris argued passionately for the sake of their home, Agent Remy Drobash lent credence to their words by reactivating his status within the New Republic. Now, the three must bring their tactical arguments before Commander Sebastian Char, in the hopes that he will protect their people.
Tactics Officer, what's happening here? Agent Drobash saw us in the briefing room, and they wanted to help in the preparation of our plans, Commander. Interesting.
We thought you could use a little local advice.
All right, tell me what you have. The tactics officer starts to go over the basics of, where the planetary defense systems can go, how it can be integrated into some of the works that already exist on Hoban.
There's an extensive bunker system under this turret you have set up here. It's old and it'll need to be cleaned up and repurposed, but I think it could help a lot.
Well, it also kind of collapsed, so it may not even be stable.
Well, that's true.
Plus, there was all the exploding.
Yeah, but we know something got out of there alive, which means
more
there
tunneling.
could be something else that's in there that could be useful.
Was it a munitions depot or some sort?
Well, that's hard to say. It was a spaceport, at least.
Some kind of bunker. But
okay, so I like to explore things. That's like my thing. One of my things. I like to, But so I got in there, I don't know, 2-3 years back, close to 4 really, and I worked my way down, and she kind of sketches out using the hologram. The holo display.
Yeah.
A map of what she found and how far down she went.
You zoom in really tight into the holo projection, and it does show the first, I don't remember what we said, I think 30 floors of the bunker.
Okay.
And you pull up a cross section, and then you can effectively use it like a holo whiteboard projection, so you can draw more into it.
So yeah, so she's like, okay, so this shaft right here, the turbo lift?
Yeah, I believe we figured out that's what it's called.
Turbo lift. Yeah, I can never remember that one.
Yeah, me too. Because I think that's what they call it in Star Trek too, isn't it?
I think they do. So, just come on, guys, come up with something different. So anyway, so we came up. I was actually able to go down this shaft here, and she extends it all the way down to the 70th floor or wherever it was we got to.
Mm-hmm. I think it was 75. I don't know why I remember this.
And
I thought it was 78, but I really don't know.
I thought it was 71.
It's in the 70s.
I feel like 75 or 78 sound...
Listeners, if you happen to remember, please write in. As you may be aware,
Please,
podcasting
right.
has a side effect of long-term memory loss. Please help us by commenting below.
The actual answer will surprise you.
If you don't freaking remember.
So we go down here to floor, let's say 75.
Yep.
And it opens up here, and there's a passageway. Now, this isn't lit at all. So you're going to have to bring your own lights. And she kind of goes through bit by bit. And if you open the door here, this is where a starship obviously was recently.
Do you draw a little, like with a gray marker, a little droid, like, broken in half on the ground?
No.
Oh.
Sorry, I don't. That just seems bizarrely morbid, despite the fact that it's just a droid. Well, if it was a human body, I wouldn't be like, there's a human body right here in half. Look at all the detail.
Little X's over the eyes, stick figure.
Yeah.
Oh,
Like, okay. But if we go over here,
our
it's
poor
all
droid buddy.
Last time we were down there, this area was already collapsed. Now, if you go back through these doors, and this looked like some sort of medical bay, and that was where we found this pod, where this guy came out and tried to kill us. And he had a lightsaber.
At the word lightsaber, the commander just stands real still.
Yep.
Yeah, it was a nice bright red. I remember that, because I was really, really close to it. You know, one of those moments you just kind of have nightmares about.
The cadet instantly has flop sweats.
And, so, you know, we're down there, and this thing opens up, and this guy gets out, and he's bad news. And we ran, because we're not dumb. And we got into a ship, which may or may not have been the one that was sitting right here. And he got hit by a turbo laser.
He got hit by a turbo laser and then had the rest of the bunker collapse on top of him.
The important thing is he got hit by a turbo laser and shrugged it off.
Pardon me. Are you telling me that Hoban has Sith on it?
Well, not anymore.
No, because you see this crater we drew in over here?
You pan over.
Yeah, like two hands, like I'm making a wheel go around.
Yeah.
And then stop it right there and go, okay, so see how this is sort of conically shaped? And then I tell him what came out of there and describe to him the Stygian.
Do you draw a line drawing of the Stygian?
Yeah. I feel like I can remember it that well.
Yeah. It was mostly square-shaped. Or diamond-shaped.
And, yeah, so it came out of there. We were able to scan some of these smaller wings. You see these here, and here. And then it left. We don't know where it went, because that was when all this other trouble happened.
Okay. So, the moon of Hoban had a Sith Lord, and he escaped with possible more Sith?
Yeah, so sort of like a whole Sith herd? What would be the plural of them? A murder of Sith?
Seems appropriate.
A
Yeah,
scowling of
so
Sith?
this one was in a pod and managed to get out. We don't know what else might be under the planet, but it's very possible this is what the First Order is looking for, or leads to what the First Order is looking for.
And so I probably wouldn't put your defenses directly on top of it.
This is troubling.
Or rather, put them directly on top of it so that we can continue to thoroughly search the rest of that bunker.
There was that whole explosion, which would mean all that ground could be totally unstable.
I guess.
But you only saw one Sith.
Yeah.
Then.
We only saw
one Sith that we actually saw, but we saw those other pods, which, I mean, obviously could contain anything, but I mean, it was Star Destroyer sized. Like, it could have thousands on there. Tens of thousands. Just...
I mean, I doubt it has that.
Well, I'm just saying, it could have a lot. We don't know.
This does present a big risk for where we set up operation for the new Republic Defense Forces. On one hand, we want to make sure that if there's something that the First Order wants there, we keep it away from them. It does offer a lot of advantages for it to be the new staging ground. But on the other hand, if there are Sith on the planet, I don't know if I have enough forces to fight off Sith. We'll have to look more into it. After a moment, are these the defense systems that you were thinking of procuring from the Petri Star Cluster? Yes, sir. Big risk. It's been taken over for quite a while now. I know, sir.
What's happening at the Petri Star Cluster?
He waves his hand at another page to go get another data module. Brings it over, plops in a new holo, and what you see is a 3-star system. Around it, there are pretty good-sized planets going around, but you see that it's been registered as a very dangerous area, kind of a no-fly zone, for the last 15 years. Mm-hmm. How do I put this lightly? Pirates. The Petri Star Cluster is actually named after the pirate syndicate. They've had a firm grip on that star cluster for a long time. The minerals and people resources in that area have completely been taken over by them. It used to be close to hyperspace transit jump area, but has strangled it almost to death. We have reports that before the Empire fell away, that on one of the planets they had planetary defense systems ready to be put up at a moment's notice. This is what the tactics officer is suggesting, is procuring those from this system and then implanting them at Hoban.
How good is the intelligence that those exist?
Yeah, do we even know they're there?
It was in pretty deep records of the Empire after they were dissolved. It seems that these were prototypes that were supposed to be put into mass production before the Empire's fall. All reports that we've been able to receive since then, which is very small from that system, seems that they haven't found that they exist yet. The reason the New Republic hasn't ever tried to make this move on it before, failure would alert them that they would exist, and then the Star Cluster Syndicate would have access to them.
Well, I mean, if we don't manage to fight back the First Order, then is that going to really matter that much to us? I say, if they're there, we should try to find them.
Well,
hey guys, there's plot this way.
I like a small chance of success as much as the next person.
Look, maybe it's not there, or maybe we don't find it. But I mean, if there's a possibility, right? This could really help us.
I would like a probability if we could,
All right, how about I say there's a probability?
Sounds great. I'm in.
Awesome. She high fives you.
High five.
Either way, it sounds like without those parts, this plan to fortify Hoban isn't going anywhere. We're going to need to get those defenses.
Did we just volunteer? Oh, we just volunteered, didn't we?
Well,
oh, come on.
So,
and she kind of looks at the colonel like she's a little disappointed in him.
Commander Char looks at everybody and then looks at the tactics officer again. How are you planning on procuring these under the nose of the syndicate? Well, he brings up another smaller thing, and he was planning a full frontal assault against an overwhelming force.
Well, that sounds like a terrible idea.
I feel like all of us in the room just kind of sigh. Like, okay.
Okay, so you don't know the size of the force, or what they've got, or where they even are, because nobody goes there, and you just want to waltz in there with whatever ships the Republic has left.
The New Republic Defense Force does not waltz.
Okay, you want to tango in there.
Look, if you don't know what you're going up against, and you're already low on ships, what you need is not a full assault.
Yeah.
If only there was a ship that didn't look like it was part of the Republic. It had maybe a small crew with, like, I don't know, an intelligence agent on board that could help, work our way through all the little nuances to find stuff. But where could we get something like that?
Oh, no. Wonder. I mean, you would need you'd need a damn good pilot for a mission like this.
We would. Where could we get one?
The whole time, Remy's kind of just been leaning against the back doorway, and you hear him screech, and Remy says, "No, that's exactly what they're talking about."
I love him.
Yeah, Officer Sabak looks pretty grumpy about this. He was totally thinking that you all were going to back the very strong military option.
Well,
Yeah.
Look,
Look,
unless he says anything, I guess he won't know why. So.
What are you all suggesting exactly, though? You're going to go into Syndicate space and ellipses?
We will ellipses all over the place until we find what you're looking for.
in fact, we'll call this Operation Ellipses.
I love it. That is a perfectly cromulent name. Operation Ellipses.
I just realized I don't know how you guys are going to go about it, but if it is like an undercover thing, Imp is your parrot. If you guys present yourselves as pirates.
Let's go be space pirates.
Are we? I'm not sure space pirates have peg legs and parrots.
Space
Remy,
pirates.
you just confirmed Remy has all of his natural limbs, so...
But he does have a space pirate. Or a space parrot.
Yes, he has a space
He's
pirate.
got a space parrot so that we can be a space pirate.
I'm just saying, I don't think it's required. I don't know that... I think it's more of an equal opportunity piracy these days.
Our naming convention means that we have to say Star Pirate.
Oh, Star Pirate.
No,
okay.
no, Space
Should we?
Pirate's fine.
Space Pirate's fine?
No. I
Okay.
mean, because it's like they're in space.
We're not married to that. I mean,
Because Star
Pirate
Wars...
stars. They pirate
They're
space.
Pirate Stars. Pirate Stars is like a trading card system where like you have trading cards of your favorite space pirates.
Yeah, Cassie
and
has...
your favorite stars?
I think Cassie
you do
has
battle.
all of the pirate stars.
No, Cassie...
Either way, Cassie
that's,
didn't do it. It was boring.
That's for nerds, and I don't play that, thank you.
Oh, come on. You're a total nerd.
I'm not that kind of nerd, okay?
Look, we need to repair our ship.
As per the agreement we already made. But, I mean, because this is an important operation, you could send extra mechanics to help out. And bits.
If you're willing to try and recover these planetary defense systems...
Well, I mean, they're not all going to fit on our ship. But
Try.
we could
We
locate
do,
them.
or we do
and
not.
Maybe...
In this case, we do. I should write that down. That's great.
Yeah, that's really good.
Yeah.
Sound super smart.
Yeah,
we
right?
could possibly locate these, and then the Defense Force could jump to our location. Maybe get all the equipment and jump out before the Syndicate knew we were there.
So the equipment is effectively 3 Corvette-sized ships.
So we'd be like scouts. Or spies.
Theoretically, they can jump and then deploy once they're at Hoban.
The ships, the corvettes can jump?
Yeah, well, because they're prototypes, they're pop-up defenses, right? So,
Okay.
in theory, they would jump to a planet that you wanted to, like, entrench yourself in, throw a ton of planetary defense on it from orbit, and then essentially be exhausted. But
do they need a pilot, or do you set them to jump?
Well, we don't know yet, right?
Well, you guys have some records of it. I'm gonna say you're not sure.
Why don't we set up some sort of contact thing, like a comm unit, or I think that might be the word for it, comm unit. Does that sound familiar? That way we could call in case we need reinforcements.
He seems a little hesitant to...
Cassie is such a smartass.
Completely.
You want us to send war reinforcements to the Syndicate space? We might be able to set up an escape way and cover you as
First
if we
of all,
need extraction.
You're the one talking about war. But what I would like is, and this seems reasonable to me, is just having the option of contacting you and seeing what help we might need at the time, since we're not actually there and we don't know what help we're going to need at the time.
We can put a similar contingent of what you had to go to the marathon, one jump distance away from Syndicate space. The reaction time for us to get to Syndicate space would likely be long enough for it to not be useful.
Well, either way, it's going to be a matter of hours, so if we need it spur of the moment, we're already hosed.
Yeah.
Response time really isn't that big of a factor. We're already going to have to plan hours out. Because even if they're one jump away, that's still, 3 to 8 hours.
One jump away could be fairly short.
Yeah.
One jump away could easily be 20 or 30 minutes. But in the clutch,
that's still,
you're right. I mean, that's still going to be
a little tight. So, it'd just be nice to have a little flexibility in the response if we need, another pilot to sneak in, or if we need beer. We want the options.
He is willing to commit essentially a Corvette, 2 transports, and maybe 3 fighters. Enough for a very quick escape route or a possible extraction.
Yeah, that was all I had in mind in calling you in the first place.
Yeah,
I wasn't planning on a full strike.
And that'll be nearby. That'll be within 1 jump distance, which I'll say is under an hour.
We just need to get our ship repaired.
Yeah,
like we agreed already.
Yeah.
And maybe a little bit more than what you felt we agreed on before, because we're doing this for you. Well, for the cause. Well, kind of for us, but also for you.
Cassie, stop talking. You've done good. Sit down.
Commander Char will
always do this.
Commander Char will outreach his hand in form of a handshake.
To who? To Cassie?
to Cassie.
Cassie looks tentative, and then we'll slowly bring her hand out, but her eyes are darting around the room like I'm breaking protocol.
Kamaya nods at her and bumps her arm.
But she'll shake his hand
as he's shaking your hand. And to any luck, in a few weeks, we'll be neighbors. You can talk to the quartermaster for any additional resources you might need for this endeavor. Do you have any estimations on how long it'll take you to get your ship in repair?
Soonest started, soonest done.
Very well. They will... He'll motion to a page and to pull out the data disks and hand them to y'all. So you guys have this information if you need to review it or go over some things.
Great.
Well, those go straight to Remy. He's the intel officer.
He'll look over to Remy and be like, I see you've reactivated Agent.
That's right. Kind of looked like it was headed there anyway, so...
We have limited information about the pirate syndicate, but the files are open to you.
All right, I'll take a look at it.
And for myself, and for all the lives you saved on the marathon, the Defense Force would like to thank you, formally.
Of course. Just wish there was something more we could have done.
If there's any way we can track down the First Order, figure out what they did with the rest of our people.
We do have other intelligence officers working on that now, and I'll be sure to keep you informed as we find things. If you're able to secure the planetary defense systems, that'll go a long way into making this the correct choice. No matter what, I have pledged to help. If we go forward with the planetary defense systems, Sith or not, the First Order is what we will be staring at.
And I assume I think that now's time to leave, so she'll probably turn around and maybe give him a handshake and then walk out.
Yep.
And then
as we to shake hands,
as we walk out, she kind of goes to high five Cassie and is just like, "Space pirates." Yes.
Arr.
So now we've done that.
We've got a hitch ride to Hoban.
That's hitch ride to
Is that what we're doing?
now?
I thought. Oh yeah, that is what we're doing.
We got to get our ship, right? I mean, I volunteered the Atheon. Unless they want to give us... I mean, if they want to give us a ship, that'd be fine.
No, sorry, terms have been set. The Atheon also, you guys have to have the Atheon for the pirate mission. It's too good.
Well, that was my thought, but,
So, yeah, you guys...
It's been a long day. I think we should take just the night and, rest a little bit.
And drink?
Yes. Obviously, that's what I meant.
Obviously, that's what you meant. Okay.
All right, so we figure out when we can get back, and then tomorrow we will try to go.
Sounds good.
I send star texts to the people that I now currently know on this ship, which basically includes... It's like Hakeem and I think just Blip at the moment. I'm sure she texts Rico as well.
Yep.
To
the crew of the transport that we were just on.
Yeah, she invites the whole crew of the transport we were on. She had to run into at least a couple of people from Hoban that we rescued that were in good condition.
Are we doing a shopping episode now?
So, you guys have the option to do a shopping episode.
I have 3 backed patches at the moment.
Well, Kamaya has already invited a couple dozen people to go hang out at a bar. So
yeah, you after a little bit of talking, you find out that they are actually sending out a repair shuttle out to Hoban tomorrow, and it's effectively like a garage that's a shuttle, so it'll definitely help repair the ship.
How convenient.
Yeah. I mean, it's not massive. Your ship will not fit into this thing, but it's pretty good tools. If you estimate, you think that you could get the Atheon to where it was while you guys were in the bunker in about 4 or 5 days?
What about getting better?
If you want to get better, well, thing one is, when you say get better, what do you mean? If you want more things on the ship also, then you've got to get those.
Well, it would be nice if it weren't falling apart on us.
it would be nice if we had a second
the systems
gun.
that are already there would be nice if they worked. That kind of thing.
We only have one turret. We need a second gun.
Getting the second gun online, maybe spending several days ourselves getting used to the system so we stop having that stupid black dye, things like that.
I think that's possible. I think that if in that chunk of time where the ship is being repaired, if Rumi and Kamaya also work on it, they can get rid of their last black die too. So, the New Republic Defense Force can requisition you a lot of things. But ship upgrades like that,
here it is.
You have to buy it on the station, which isn't them.
The comm system. Do we need another comm unit, or can we just update the software?
You need to update the software.
So we can do that.
Yeah.
That's easy. Okay.
They'll bring one of those like diagnostic machines that you plug up to your car.
So we can do the only thing we can't do are the guns.
With what you have right now that is like free and without negotiation or anything like that, yeah. They're going to bring down the crews, they're going to bring down the repair repair vessel and stuff like that.
Well, okay, so in this case the objective would be get guns.
So you're trying to figure out what you can do. Weapons are definitely a problem and what you want to work on. Cassie, give me a mechanics roll. Hard
mechanics. Let's see if I can.
Hard mechanics roll. You know what? With a blue die, because you have familiarity with this subject matter. I'm gonna
spend a light side die because we're not doing a lot of dice rolling this time, and I like spending them like they're free.
Oh,
okay.
Nice.
3 successes and an advantage.
You think you can salvage some of the weapon systems from the transport vessel, definitely, and then maybe some things from the ties. The transport vessel doesn't have fantastic guns, but they're moderately comparable to the kind of weapons bays that are on the front of the Atheon.
Well, I mean,
it's not great,
laser
but
cannon
it's something.
isn't too much to ask. So
you guys could go to the they do that in Mass Effect, whatever it's called, where you buy ship parts and stuff, right? And you don't have credits, but what you could essentially do is take on obligation to get things. Mechanically, it's called obligation. In game terms, it could be you can make promises, deals, put yourself at risk, all these other kind of things. Put yourself into debt.
A side quest.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
So, I mean, do we want to go deal with the black market and put ourselves into debt, or do we want to try to go to
not
Char first?
Black market. Well, I guess this is a black market station.
I know, Ito. It's the black market.
Yeah.
And that's fine. I'm okay with the black market because I can break dance with the best of them.
I mean, yeah, and we could use some credits as well. I mean, we hadn't really.
Yeah.
We don't really have much spending cash, honestly.
Also, you guys are going to try and do something. I don't know what you're going to do. I'm not sure if you guys are planning on like going undercover pirate or as a captain or da-da-da-da-da. But you may also want to go through this black market to get some things that'll help you with that plan too. Because once you're on Hoban, there's a limited amount of resources to pirate yourself up.
To get our pirate ID?
That's a good point. What is our plan? I mean, I must have blanked out when Ito was talking about the ship things that we're going to get. But I mean,
I can run through it real quick.
There are 3.
Yeah, just give me the cliff notes.
All right, so there's a 3-star system, and I forget what it's called. But essentially, like 10, 15 years ago, this pirate syndicate.
That's not the peak note. That's not the cliff notes.
Petri Star cluster. In there are 3 Corvette-sized ships that have the modular defenses we're looking for. So we want to just waltz in there in a sneaky type fashion, because we do waltz, and grab them and leave.
Well, they don't know.
But the way it was said was they don't know the ships are there.
They don't know it's there, and it was a deep. It was like a prototype kind of thing by the Empire that never finished. So the assumption is that it's kind of like the bunkers that you guys have been finding.
So
okay, but do we know the exact location?
Pretty rough. Like which planet
it's around this
in the
planet?
System. Yeah,
we do know which planet. Okay,
yeah, you know which
planet.
That's
a great start.
It's not like okay. So I mean, I think the plan should just be jump in, take the ships, jump out.
Well, I'm for that, but what if we jump in and they're like, oh, this is where we're having breakfast, and we're going to be like, hi, and they're going to be like, let's pew, 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 pew. We would like to pew, pew back. Right?
Sure. So...
That's all.
Okay, so a backup plan.
Exactly.
Yes,
exactly.
we need a backup
we just
plan.
need the option of pew-pewing. We don't necessarily want to go in there pew-pewing. Plan A, stealth. Plan B, pew, 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 pew. Plan C is where everything's criffed, and we just have to fake it.
Fantastic. Plan D is that you all become pirates.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
I'm into it.
For the rest of our lives.
Oh, I think one of these plans should be that we make friends with the pirates and then turn them on the First Order.
Yeah. Oh!
Ooh.
Oh, that's a good plan,
Let's
too.
call that
And
2A.
Okay, Remy will look into the... while we're trying to figure out our plan, Remy will look into what information he can get from the Republic notes on the...
If we're going to actually if we're going to actually deal with these pirates, then we definitely need to at least look like we can defend ourselves. Because if we go in there looking...
like an easy target, well, we're going to be an easy target.
Then we'll be an easy target. They're pirates. It's what they do.
What are you looking for?
I mean, a lot. I want to know who their leader is.
Okay.
I want to know, are they pirates that will actually make deals and make money, or are they more just interested in killing and raiding? Or do they have a vested interest if either side wins this conflict?
Okay.
Do they have a home base? How many ships are we talking? How many pirates are we talking?
Can I suggest, Brandon?
Yeah.
What supplies they might want or need?
Yes, I thought I said that, but I didn't. Okay. So, what supplies they might need or want or whatever, stuff that we could use to... useful information to this mission.
Oh, what about if there's anybody on this space station that might already be a contact for them?
Ooh.
Right. Or do they have a little shop here, or do they have contacts here exactly that we could be like, hey, what do you guys need, or is there a job we could do for you, or whatever?
Yeah, I'm perfectly willing to say that I'm perfectly willing to spend a light side point to say, hey, look, there's this guy, and he's totally willing to deal with people. He hires contractors.
Thing 1, structure. Of course they have a pirate king. Of course they do. It rotates, new kings are not democratically voted. The last one dies, the next person takes a hat, It goes through that cycle every...
It is a literal hat, too.
It's a literal hat.
Yeah.
So all we have to do is kill the Pirate King.
Yeah, all you have to do is kill the Pirate King.
And then take their hat.
This is Plan F now.
I like this plan. Yeah, Plan F. Definitely.
From what reports that you can find, the current Pirate King is Pirate King Rutledge.
It's not a pretty name.
It's not a pretty name. It's not a pretty man. It's pretty cutthroat. The current Pirate King is all about profits. So it's about margins. There are pirate commodores that kind of go and control bigger trade sectors, or at least their influence in certain trade sectors. There are 7 pirate commodores. Under them, they may have an amount of ships ranging from 7 pretty, corvettes, or there's one that has 30. It really depends. The Star Cluster is their base of operations. It's where they amass the wealth. They have their own banking system effectively to, hold their resources. If you ever want to do trade with the Syndicate, you have to come to the cluster and only only the most hard as nails people even try and do that. They have a big open clash with the Hutts. Big clash with the Hutts. Yeah. What else? Yeah, most of the time you need... It's not that you have to have an inn to go and interact with the Syndicate, but not doing it seems a little foolhardy. And you need something pretty juicy to, open that door. The way they see the First Order is that it's kind of bad for business, right? They are not war profiteers, and that's pretty much where the First Order has grown as far as money. They were actually flourishing really well in the peacetime after the fall of the Empire, and war kind of makes everyone clinch up. They've seen trade routes wither. They've seen everything kind of pull in towards the center as far as trade and everything else goes, and that's just it's not very good for them. Now, open combat with the First Order also isn't very good for them, and the what was of the Syndicate before the fall of the Empire existed pretty well during the Empire too. So they aren't against simply, staying in the shadows and staying quiet. Anything else you're curious about?
Oh man, I really want to make friends with these guys, and then one day, I want to come across information that we could give to them going, hey, so, the First Order, we hate them, right? This is the time when it might be really lucrative for you to attack them and take some, and do a piratey thing. I want to sick them on the First Order at some point. Oh. I don't think we have that at the moment.
You guys do not have Death Star plans. They did not have a big foothold in the Hosnian system, which the First Order turned into powdered sugar. So with the New Republic Defense Force kind of almost not existing anymore, they've been able to bleed more into the core systems. But yeah.
Mm-hmm. Willing to give. I mean, information. They want to know stuff. We know something about what the First Order is doing to an extent. We know that they're, taking people and doing weird experiments. But I don't know if that information would be valuable to them.
All right, so I'm going to do this because I want to, all right? Kamaya's going to go get day drunk.
Is it daytime still? I feel like it was...
By our internal clocks, it's gotta be
I felt
night.
like it was later.
This space station is like 4.5 feet away from a star. It's day drunk. It's day drunk.
Okay,
so
I'm gonna go get day drunk.
You're gonna go get day drunk with the NPCs that you booty called at the bar, while Cassie.
Just to point out, I did invite like a dozen people or something.
Yeah. You invited a Weasley, and there might be a Ham there. Who knows? Anyway.
There might be a what?
There might be a John Ham there. Who knows? We don't know yet. We'll come back to that later. So Cassie and Remy are going to go to the merchant deck, the bazaar deck, and try and do some horse trading for some ship bits. Thanks for listening. To make sure you don't miss any of our big updates, follow us on Facebook at No Match for a Blaster, or on Twitter at No Match Podcast. If you enjoyed our show, please leave us a review on iTunes, and visit us on Patreon at patreon.com/moralityplays. No Match for a Blaster is a podcast by Morality Plays. Star Wars, Edge of the Empire, Age of Rebellion, and Force and Destiny are made by Fantasy Flight Games and Lucas Books. Our theme is by Kevin McLeod, sound effects by Tristan Longren, Vindus, and Akmov. And I would like to thank my players, Brandon playing Remy Drobash, Claire playing Cassie Saris, and Bobby playing Kamaya Saris. And of course, I'd like to thank you, our listeners. And we'll see you again soon in a galaxy far, far away.